boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
Terence Bud Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to defer. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change or whatever.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman highlight a major flaw that could cost Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford. They argue that Canelo isn't as great as many believe. While Crawford is the standout of his era, his ability to box with precision and move fluidly creates problems that Canelo cannot easily solve. According to them, this weakness will ultimately lead to Canelo being outclassed and convincingly beaten.
Him back in the ring with Terence Crawford? Not too soon. Maybe you take a year off and then come back and work your way to the 154, 160 division and Terence Crawford be there and y'all want to meet again. That's cool. That's cool. But you don't need to be going back in the ring with him this December. I know that much.
Stephen A. Smith points out that Canelo relies too heavily on power shots, believing that raw strength alone will secure victory. He argues this approach is ineffective against Crawford, who thrives on skill, movement, and precision. Smith emphasizes that defeating a fighter like Crawford requires more than heavy punches, and Canelo's predictable reliance on power will likely fail when faced with Crawford's superior boxing intelligence.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love boxing.
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo is, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always
prepared.
He's always ready. He's always
that.
prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman draws a clear distinction between skill and physicality in the Canelo versus Crawford matchup. He notes Crawford's jab is now one of the sharpest in boxing, controlling distance and dictating the pace. Meanwhile, Canelo's once crisp jab has declined, making him more dependent on strength and counterpunching. Kellerman stresses that Crawford's precision, timing, and ring intelligence could neutralize Canelo's size advantage, suggesting that tactical skill and adaptability may outweigh raw power.
Crawford. Best defense. Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
Yeah. So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, Most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. compares the doubts Muhammad Ali once faced with the skepticism around Crawford today. He recalls how many believed Ali could never beat George Foreman because of size and strength, yet Ali defied expectations with strategy and resilience. Bradley sees a similar narrative forming around Crawford, with critics claiming he cannot beat Canelo due to size differences. However, Bradley insists that greatness isn't measured by size alone but by determination, skill, and preparation, highlighting Crawford's dedicated training to prepare specifically for Canelo.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yep. They said that Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah. 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah, they saying Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna even be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight. Because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hands. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching video, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. Ooh, the weight, he too heavy. Chill, it was weight classes for a reason. And all of this crap. Man, you think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, when before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to life, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Bernie Day Boxer dismisses the idea that Crawford is undersized for this fight. He argues that Crawford's frame and physical presence have often been underestimated, but his performances at higher weight classes prove otherwise. Bernie emphasizes that Crawford is an intelligent, calculated fighter who knows how to handle larger opponents. He believes the real edge will come from ring intelligence, adaptability, and outmaneuvering Canelo, with Crawford and his team confident that their sharpness and preparation will give them an advantage.
Crawford, you've seen him in the gym. But have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawfords, how you do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interested than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was a kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there, so... Buzz fights, they always excite. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BMB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walked Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grapplings, the tactics, you know, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his, you know, wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle for, but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. You feel me? He doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands is like baseball mitts.
Canelo Alvarez approaches this fight with humility and respect, acknowledging Crawford as a legitimate threat despite being naturally smaller. He notes that at the elite level, size becomes less decisive because top fighters know how to adjust and compete across divisions. Canelo's mindset reflects a dedication to preparation, understanding that skill and discipline will be as crucial as size and power. This professionalism suggests fans will see both fighters at their best.
Me, because Terence is a smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
If you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything, so I see everything. And
Shakur Stevenson expresses full confidence in Crawford's chances against Canelo, based on his first-hand experience in training camps. He reveals Crawford has been sparring with fighters matching or exceeding Canelo's size and dominating. Stevenson highlights Crawford's accuracy and ability to avoid clean shots, arguing that this precision and skill could overcome both Canelo's size and durability, making him a formidable opponent.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
You've been feeling like that since day one. I think, but now nobody never thought about that fight like that, because when you were saying nobody was thinking about that fight because not even Crawford.
Crazy. Thought I was crazy.
I still think it's crazy though. For me, I still think it's crazy. But like you said, I'm not in the gym. I'm not in the gym.
Yes, you have to see him, man. The people he spars, everybody that Bud Crawford spars is the same size as Canelo. Like all these guys that he's sparring is bigger guys. He don't even he do spar with people his size sometimes, and sometimes they get in there with me. That's strictly for skill. That's strictly to keep his skills, his hand speed, the IQ level up. But the people that Bud Crawford spars is big ass dudes, and I'm watching what he can do in the ring and sparring. It's nothing that's gonna change come fight night. And I hear y'all say that the 16s and the 8s is different. I agree, but y'all gotta realize Bud got on 8s too.
And the chin also. Like Canelo Alvarez got on them chin, man.
Bud got on 8 ounces too. And you can have all the chin in the world. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you is. If you get punched by the right motherfucker, you gonna feel that shit.
But that's the thing. He got punched by the right motherfuckers in Triple G and Kovalev.
Okay, and you don't know if Bud gonna crack him with a cleaner shot